This is the Investor Connect podcast program. I'm Hall T. Martin. I'm the host of this show in which we interview angel investors, venture capital, family offices, private equity, and many other investors for early stage and growth companies. I hope you enjoy this episode. Investor Connect is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors and startups for fundraising. Please consider donating $100 to the program to help others in their investor and entrepreneur journey. You can find the donate button on the investorconnect.org website. Well, hello, this is Hall Martin with Investor Connect. Today I'm here with Robert Samuelsen, President and CEO at SmallStart Ventures. SmallStart Ventures identifies high-potential entrepreneurs and provides a structured launchpad for their business dreams. SmallStart Ventures expects to add $315 million to GDP and 5,500 jobs to the economy in 5 years. Robert, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Hall. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today.
Great. So where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Tucson, Arizona.
Great. So tell us more about your background. What did you do before SmallStart Ventures?
Sure. I've worked for 3 Fortune 500 companies, NCR Corporation, AT&T, and Roper Industries. I have started a number of different companies, most notably a company called Square Knot Ventures, Evine, Avalon Wireless, which we just sold last year, Navabase, and I've done some consulting under C Consultants, which is a company that I founded. I've also executed as an executive 3 turnarounds. And that is in many ways like a startup, but with all the baggage. And I've raised through public sector and private sector about $450 million.
Great. So you had a diverse set of experiences there and a wide range of applications. But let's talk about starting a business in the area of financial services. What do you see as the opportunity there?
Well, I think for me, it's been kind of a challenge, to be quite honest. We're trying to do a new concept. And it's easy when you are trying to sell something that already people are familiar with. Everybody knows what social media is. But in 2006, when Facebook got started, nobody knew what social media was. It created a new category. And I guess in some sorts, we're doing the same thing. We're trying to apply financial principles to the small business market, which is something that is unique into the financial services industry. And we think that there's a big opportunity there.
Great. Then what's the challenge in starting a business here?
I think the challenge is describing what we do in a way that people very quickly understand it, because we just don't fit nice and neat into a bucket.
Are you creating your own category? And if so, what would you call that new category?
Sure. We have an element of venture capital, an element of incubator, a little element of score chapters or Vistage chapters. But we start, I guess probably the best way is we help find high potential entrepreneurs in the small business space. We provide a launch pad for them, and then we have a clean exit 3 years out.
Sounds great. So what's the potential reward in a new model like that?
It's really interesting. When you look at our business model as a commercial enterprise, we have 3 revenue streams. One is we own the small business for that 3-year period, and we get the operating profits, which will be small. The second is we do provide a back office support, which we charge a flat fee for, and we get a revenue stream from that comes into the company. The third revenue stream is the interesting one. And at the end of 3 years, we sell the business that we co-started with this potential entrepreneur, and then we get the capital gain at the end of 3 years. That's when the financial model starts to really look interesting, because we have a capital event at the end of 3 years.
Well, that sounds great. So how much are companies selling for in the space today, and how does it vary from one type of business to the other?
Well, we are a portfolio company, but a portfolio of small businesses. So I don't know what the multiples are in the industry, but I think with the growth rate that we have, I think there's a very unique potential for that. And like I said, we're sort of starting a new category in a sense. So we would look for what maybe other portfolio companies sell for.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. And so what is the difference between you and your competitors? How would you describe the difference or your competitive advantage, so to speak?
Sure. If you look at the venture capital world, they're looking for the home runs. They're looking for a big exit, a 10x multiple or more. And we know the results of that in a portfolio of venture capital, there's one winner, a couple of that sort of muddle by, and then there's a lot that simply just don't succeed at all. If you look at the incubator space, I searched 100 incubators around the world, and there's about a 10.2% exit rate from incubators. So again, relatively small. In both of those models, they're looking for really the next big thing, something, the home run. I would describe us as a company that is looking to hit a whole bunch of singles and have a high exit rate instead of 10% or something in that range. We're looking at maybe an 80% exit rate because these are small businesses, they're more manageable, and we exit in 3 years. So whereas a venture capital incubator, they go in, they have no idea who the buyer is going to be, or nor do they know how much they're going to buy it, sell the company for, and they don't have the time frame. They don't know the time frame of when that might be sold. We know that. When we start these businesses, we start with a 3-year window that is known up front. The entrepreneur signs an agreement to buy the company at the end of 3 years. So we know the buyer, we know the time frame, and we agree to sell it at the appraised value, whatever that might be, which is an established marketplace metric. So we know the buyer, we know how much they're going to pay, at least the methodology for it, and we know the time frame. And I think that really separates us from venture capital, incubator, and that type of business. And then we have the element of score chapters or Vistage groups. And in that, they tend to be more not-for-profit, those types of businesses. And we kind of want to stay away from that. But that is also, I suppose, a competitor. And they do play in the small business space to a large degree. So we kind of blend those three concepts together. And we have SmallStart Ventures.
So what advice would you give to someone entering this category that you're in? What would you tell them to do before they jump in?
What I think is important is, in trying to be a portfolio company, you need to bring in sort of two elements. One is that corporate America experience really brings the rigor, the process, those types of things, quality metrics that are important for any business. And those are typically metrics that small businesses don't have. They don't have good processes. They don't have good metrics. So that's one thing that we can bring in. I think the other is that when you are in a small business, you wear many hats. Where in a big corporation, you wear one hat. So our ideal scenario is somebody that has big company experience and is familiar with quality processes, and small business experience, which is familiar with washing the floors 1 minute and selling to your customers the next minute.
That sounds great. So what online information source do you find most helpful in your work?
We spend a lot of time at the Small Business Administration, understanding the reasons for small business failures. We address the 5 main reasons for business failures. And that is part of the service that we provide and part of who we are. It's core to the principles of SmallStart Ventures. So we spend a lot of time there. We do also spend time looking at the financial markets, and we look at incubators and Vistage and Score, and all of those sort of play into our space. We also look into the conscious capital world, because we can address some of the needs of maybe the non-traditional entrepreneur, people of color, single parents, immigrants, and those types of things. So we can play to our strength with a unique demographic.
Great. Well, you see a lot of different businesses and applications out there. If you could start a business tomorrow, not the one you're in now, but a new one, what would that business be?
If I were to start a business tomorrow, I don't know. I mean, I have a master's degree in finance, so probably an area of personal finance would be of something that would be of interest to me. I have some ideas on things that aren't really addressed in the market today that I think would be interesting, but that's not my current focus right now. So,
sure. Well, that's great. So you've been doing this SmallStart for some time now. What is one thing your business did that you didn't expect?
I thought it would be easier to explain what we do. So I spent a lot of time. Usually you can say, well, I'm a social media company or I'm a biotech company. For us, it's harder to say because some of the questions that I get from people is, are you a venture capitalist? Are you an incubator? And we have elements of those, but that's not how we would describe ourselves.
I see. Well, great. Well, in the last minutes that we have here, what else should we cover that we haven't?
Like I said, we are a portfolio company. So we're looking at companies from any diverse set of industries. We're working one for an energy saving product. It's a home service that would be sold to the residential market. We are looking at a new product from two entrepreneurs, actually, that are in their 80s, and they want to launch a product in their market, which is in the area of swimming pools and decks. We're working with a young man who is interested in opening up a dental prosthesis manufacturing company to make dentures and bridges and crowns and things like that. So you can see that it's a wide variety of businesses. They're all small businesses. Small businesses represent 46% of GDP, and there's about 500,000 new small businesses started every single day, every single month. And there's overall about 31 million in the US. And so it's a very dynamic market. It's a huge market because it's almost half of our economy. And I think we have a unique offering to tap into that huge market.
Great. So how best for listeners to get back in touch with you?
You can definitely contact me by email or by phone. My email address, I think, is listed on the notes of the podcast, as is my telephone number. And you're welcome to call or try to reach me anytime that is convenient for you.
Great. We'll include that in the contact details. I want to thank you for joining us today and hope to have you back for a follow-up soon.
Great. Thank you very much, Hall. I really appreciate working with 10 Capital. And if anybody has questions, they're welcome to give me a call, and I'm happy to talk to them.
Great. Sounds good, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Investor Connect helps investors interested in startup funding. In this podcast series, experienced investors share their experience and advice. You can learn more at investorconnect.org. Paul T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.